time, as predicted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've come a long way making those corrections, and I know that makes things work better for families and the whole community all the way around.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is something that we promised. Well, you guys promised. I kind of got the tail end. I was like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, you came in after the promise.
But hey, you guys made the promise, and now we are here. Schools are open. Everything's working perfectly fine, and well, majority of it, but it's all going smooth.
If put it this way, multiply out the number of kids, 23,500 approximately, plus all of our staff, 3,500 more, and then all the families everybody comes from.
Mm-hmm.
There's bound to be a glitch somewhere when you start doing the math on that. The point is, we're in session, we're in school, things are happening. We are still staffing up, and by the way, we have a number of different kinds of personnel openings for folks wanting to work.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to the GDOE website, and you can see what the list is. But we still need teachers, we still need school aides, we still need special ed aides. I think we also need special ed bus drivers. And just as DPW needs regular bus drivers. Folks need to understand, too, our yellow school buses are provided by the Department of Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
They're not assets that belong to the school system. But they're our partners, and they're really looking for more bus drivers. They've got the equipment. We need folks to that look for that kind of work to do. And, you know, the bus drivers are really, really important in the daily life of the school because, first of all, they know the student from the moment they get on the bus in the morning until they get off when they go home. They know if they're going to have a good day or not. And they tell us, they'll ring our phone and say, we got a young man that looks like he's having some trouble. You want to meet him there and pick him up when he gets to school because we want to help him.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like they are the very first person. They're the first person to see the mood of the students, how they're acting, how they're going to react to any kind of information that's given to them. So yeah, of course, we need bus drivers. We need a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, education is a people business.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's a little messy. When you go back and do the math, we're talking about almost pushing 30,000 people that are engaging in something every day. We prepare with our partners, Sodexo, and our own team. We prepare and serve almost 50,000 meals a day.
Yeah, I remember on our first day when we were walking around to those middle schools and we saw all the food being, prepared. We're like, wow, that's a lot of food, and it looked good too.
Yeah, no, I mean it's when you look at the scale, it's a lot, and it's a lot of work and a lot of great people doing their job. For the most part, quietly behind the scenes, making sure everything happens. Just like Reese running the control room. If she flips a switch, we're done.
Yeah, we're muted. We just look like we're just talking and yapping like one of those old movies where and all that. Yeah.
Thank you for knowing that I have the power to shut it down, but I won't because I love Edukuentos and I love what you guys talk about.
No, we want to be sure that we're including the latest information for our community and helping folks understand everything that's going on right now. Of course, getting open and finding our stride and finding the rhythm of the week. It's important, and we're pretty much into that. The rain today kind of foiled that a little bit. Even the dogs were sitting in the bus stops.
Yeah, but I mean, it is rain season, so we are trying to, combat the weathers that Mother Nature tries to provide to us. But I want to circle a little bit back to the Sodexo and everyone that talk like we do with the behind the scenes. A lot of these employees at GDOE, they go unnoticed. And it's how do we show the appreciation? How do we give back to those that are working behind the scenes?
Well, first of all, we need to acknowledge the work that they do and be sure and provide and that's one of the things that my office has to do is provide the wherewithal for them to do their job. The on-time opening happened in large part with the effort of our maintenance team, which is about 90 people total, and the ones in the office and the ones that are out doing the work on schools. But a lot of the community help from mayor's offices, from parents, from volunteers, from staff members whose job it is not including preparing the campus. It could be something else, but they come in and do that on their own as volunteers. So we always have to be sure and acknowledge that. One of the things we're doing, of course, we're going to participate in the government-wide Labor Day picnic.
Yeah, that's coming this coming
Sunday.
Next Sunday, sorry.
And so we want to, acknowledge all of our folks that make things happen. There's a lot of people in the setting of the school, especially when we start looking at counselors' office and nurses' offices and clerical support and library support. All of those folks who are not delivering direct instruction, but they're putting the resources in the hands of the kids and the teachers so that they can get things done. And we want to give them credit for that.
Yeah,
and so we celebrate that on Labor Day especially.
Yeah, definitely. I believe Dr. Adamas mentioned that we have about approximately like 250, maybe 300 people going to Labor Day just representing GDOE. And that's just like people that maybe RSVP'd. We don't know if anybody else is showing
Those
up.
are the people that contributed.
Oh, true. But that's just GDOE, like every government
But all
agency.
the government agencies will be there, and that's quite a turnout, when you get everybody there.
I know they're going to be doing some volleyball and tug of war, so can we expect you to be the anchor on the tug of war?
Excuse me.
Be right there in the way back, ready
I'm
to.
not the anchor guy, but I will definitely participate because there's a lot of fun to be had with that, and I like to be with their team. That's one of the things about the level of work that I'm doing. The number of people that I engage with on a daily basis is limited compared to what you have in the school.
Yeah.
And so I would call it in the day of the life of a high school principal. You're out in classrooms. You're going to be in 40 or 50 classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see literally a couple thousand kids, and that interaction, and that human interaction, is one of the things that makes school work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen over the years where the quality of what can happen in the classroom is dictated, for example, at 10 after 7 in the morning on a snowy, cold morning but a kid's coming to school and he's having some rough time at home. And the first person he encounters is an assistant principal who actually knows him,
Yep.
cares about him, takes
Knows
the
his
time
name.
to spend with him, or a custodian does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those human relationships are what enables learning to happen. And without the relationship, then we're really not relevant. And if you can't have a relationship that leads to relevance, then you can't have any kind of rigorous program, because to be able to perform at a high level, we've all got to have our social emotional side
Mm-hmm.
in balance to some degree.
No, yeah, the social interaction part with when I went to school was like the main reason why I felt good every day. Is like I got to see my friends, I got to see the admin staff that I knew, very friendly ones I was close with. So back when I was in high school, I loved it. Even in college, same thing. It's that social interaction part that really allowed me to excel into where I am today. I mean, I'm in communications now, right? So that's what I do basically. It's just communicate and social interact with people.
So, we see, to work and build on that, we see the recognition that some of our groups are getting right now for the JROTC group at Edukuentos High School for the Marine Corps, getting national recognition. But that national recognition comes because of the collaboration of work that 145 cadets do every day.
Correct.
And that kind of connection, that kind of connectivity is what we're trying to build across our whole school system. And first of all, that takes working from a positive mindset
Mm-hmm.
and giving people credit, even if they fall short and they don't do well. If we take the time to build a relationship, then we can make corrections, and they're not threatening. They don't feel bad. And of course, there are people, of course, that somehow can't pull it together, and you got to have a structure for that too. But building that relationship and the collaborative working together part of it is what makes this all happen. That's what makes the organization work, and that's where I've been focused since I've been here,
Mm-hmm.
to get that to where. And so when I use that analogy of the ship's crew, it takes everybody doing their part in the complexity of that environment. And if you've never been on board a ship, it doesn't matter what kind it is. And I use the analogy of an aircraft carrier because the numbers are the same. About 3,500 folks it takes to run that boat. But if you've never been below decks and seen all the stuff that's down there that someone has to touch
Mm-hmm.
to make the thing work, make it go anywhere, then you start to understand the complexity of what we're doing, because you walk in a classroom, an average guide classroom, let's say 20 to 25 kids, and a teacher, and maybe an aide, and they're working through content. It's not sit and get lecture.
Yep. It's sit and engage.
It's the teacher engaging with the kids, and the aide also engaging with the kids. That's why we have aides in some classes, for example, especially with elementary. We want to bring the teacher's aide into the classroom to help do small group work, especially when we're learning to speak English or to build language skills or to read.
Or even social interaction.
You know, and the social interaction. Well, that's kindergarten.
Yeah.
Kindergarten's all about learning how to get along with everybody and play nice in the sandbox.
Yeah,
Now,
those little munchkins, they run around, they play
and
tag.
some adults that I know haven't figured that one out yet. But
they need to go back to kindergarten.
But it really is the social and interaction side of it. Yes, and language building and literacy building, of course. But the first part is learning how to interact, because where do you use language? When you're talking to each other. And that's one of the, while technology can be, I'm going down another track already.
That's okay. That's the whole point of this.
Technology can assist that, but it cannot replace it.
Correct. That's why AI has no human factor to it, but we use it to help us build the ideas that we want to talk about and converse with someone, but not necessarily build the conversation.
I can tell you that it can edit faster than I can.
Oh yeah, definitely, me too.
And so there's the power, but the original thought has to come from the individual, and I cannot overemphasize the importance of language mastery. And this is some of the things that I'm working with across our whole school system. You still need to write, and I mean with a pen, on paper.
True.
And the science behind it is pretty simple. If it comes out your hand, it had to go through your brain to get there. And if you don't do that, if you're swiping and clicking, you're not really thinking.
Yep.
You're reacting. And so when you look at a lot of social media stuff, you know, some of the things that people post, if they went back and read what they said, they wouldn't say it.
Yeah, and the sad part is once it's on there forever. It's hard to get rid of it.
Yeah, sure it is. And you can delete the file, but you can't get it off the record. It is searchable and findable. And we have entities in our society that's their job to do.
Yep. To find data like that.
But anyway, we need to use technology to support what we're doing with learning, but it can't supplant it. It really can't. It's the human interaction part. That's the part that teaches us to value and to make thoughtful, judgmental decisions, and I don't mean in a negative sense, but to actually look at information and make a determination about, is it valid, is it useful, is it important,
Yep.
is it relevant? The biggest challenge that we have, and it's been around for years, it's not just right now, but I know is with our students is within word problems in math. Not because the math is particularly difficult, but because you have to be able to search through the language in the problem,
Yes.
sort out what is it asking me to solve, what do I need to solve it, and is what I need there, is it in the information, or is, and of course, you know, the people that develop these test items will make it a point to put in extra information that you don't need,
Yeah, it's
as a
just
distractor, to say, okay, can you sort through this? Because we're trying to figure out, can you do the reasoning to set up the math problem? It's less about the numbers and more about the reasoning. And math reasoning is something that's really important, but the root of it is language. If we don't master language, and I don't care what the language is, it could be English, it could be Chinese, doesn't matter. If you don't master the language that manipulates the content, then you're not going to get the results that you need to get.
Yes.
So one of the focuses that I'm working with our team is that we're going to be focusing more on the language of any particular discipline. So if you're looking at chemistry, there's a whole vocabulary around chemistry and science that fits that content area, and you have to be able to speak it, read it, write it, present it. But the same thing goes in social studies. The same thing is in In math, the same thing is in English. You know, the language, and when we look at our assessment data, our kids do pretty well with literary
Yeah.
content, but when they get into technical reading, that's a problem. Now, technical reading, think about it. If you have a fairly new car, you probably somewhere have the manual that came with it, or the manuals that
Yeah.
came with it.
The little booklet that you throw in the glove compartment.
Yeah, right. The one you throw in the glove compartment.
You never
that
see
will
again?
actually explain everything to you about the car. I have, I'm ashamed to say, I have 2 cars that I have
Did you
not
lose it?
read the book on, and that doesn't count my wife's car.
Oh,
So, and hers is the new version of the Kia that's got that you have a blank board when you start it. Before you start the car, it's a black screen.
oh,
You start the car and a whole bunch of stuff lights up, and you're supposed to know what to do with that stuff. Well, the details are in the book, and the book for that car is about 2.5 inches thick.
see, that's too much.
Well,
I rather just like
but the
see.
point is that I'm trying to get to is technical reading is really important.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing better on our test scores and our literacy stuff. We had Joe Sanchez on last week, and he was talking about how we're doing better than some of the stateside schools in terms of testing and stuff like that. And it shows that we're on the right track, at least.
Well, we're on the track, but there's still a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
And the piece that I see that is important with regard to the reading and writing side of English language arts is our ability to use language at a deeper level.
Yeah.
And the technical side of it. The other part, then when you go to the math, like every other school system in America, we've got a lot of work to do on math.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me a couple of things. First of all, we need to go back and take a look at how are we teaching math,
Yep.
and what are the materials we're using? Are they current? Are they up to speed on the research? And are we doing the work consistently? Because some of our schools are doing really well, and some are not. So what we're going to be doing in the next several months is looking very closely at what's the difference between the schools and the classrooms, and we can take this right down to the individual kid. What are the differences with the kids that are doing well and the ones that are not? What's not the same? It could be how the teacher's approaching the class. It could be the materials. It could be the focus that's put in that school on those. So we're trying to capitalize on what we see in our system that's working and double down on that. And that's going to change the way some people have to think about what they're doing. This is a new, and of course, part of the purpose that I brought us onto the assessment tool that we're using, which is the Smarter Balanced Assessment, and it's used in about a third of the states in the United States. And we use the same standards with the same assessment. So we're trying to measure our progress against the same set of standards that those other states are using. But the whole western United States uses Smarter Balance, plus several in the Midwest and the East Coast.
You know, I have a question. So there was this statistic that I heard that I believe the island has like a 7th grade reading level on average, something like that. How do we, I guess, expand and make it to where everyone on the island can increase the literacy and the way that they understand the language and things like that? And how long do you think it could take to get to that kind of level?
Well, if 7th grade is the number you're hearing, that's a generous number, because what I've always learned to work with when we're writing for the community or writing for a larger population, like for a newspaper to go out, 5th grade reading level.
Really?
Is what they said to write at 5th grade. So consider your audience. Well, you know, we have some competition for people's mental attention. I just, realized that I picked up a couple books I wanted to read and realized that I haven't touched a book, picked it up and read it, probably since I got here.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Now, professional articles and technical stuff, I read it all the time. So I'm constantly reading. But to read a piece that has social implications or professional implications, it's very hard to do that. And in our busy lives, it's really hard to be able to stay on top of reading, but you have to read. And when I focus back on what I was doing as a building principal, I was saying, first of all the kids need to read. Now, that doesn't mean you're reading a textbook.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into skateboarding, read Skater magazine. If you're into muscle cars, read Hot Rod.
Yep.
But be reading.
Yep.
That's the first thing. Read the stuff that you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, when it's time to do your homework, read the stuff that's assigned.
Yeah, like
But-
definitely.
But that's it's something that you have to do all the time, just like any other skill. Now, professionally by training, I'm a musician.
Yes.
But the term for your technical skill amongst musicians is chops. Okay? If your chops are up, your skill level is up.
Okay.
And I'm a bass player. My chops stink right now because when I was here before, we had a symphony orchestra that actually was active, and I was in that orchestra.
Yeah.
I played constantly. That was my, mental mindset to come out and get away from work and go do something that you enjoy that makes you not want to hurt people. So that's haven't been able to do it here.
Yeah.
I brought all the equipment, haven't been able to touch it.
Have you? When was the last time you actually, I guess, played the bass? For you.
For a year. Probably. Well, I was doing some things before we left Georgia to come here, so it's been since before we got here. Just like I brought my dive gear, haven't been back in the water.
Oh man.
My dive gear is back in the States now.
Yeah, well, at least it's in the States.
But that's the point that I wanted to make. That there's so many distractions in our daily life. People have to work. A lot of folks, have to even work multiple jobs. You're one of them.
Yep, I do.
Because I don't pay you.
Damn.
So you're volunteering, didn't know it. But that's, just getting life to happen for any household is a challenge. And busy schedules or the fact that you have to work several jobs between 2 or 3 people in the household, the time to sit down and read a book just because you want to read a book.
Yeah.
No, you're going to grab what you can on your phone because that's the technology that most people use. And what I'm seeing too is, when we started putting technologies in classrooms, we were looking at computer workstations, then tablets. Now we're saying sometimes we just use your phone because when I'm old enough to remember pre-cell phone. I remember the first ones. My sister-in-law was in real estate and she had the brick.
Oh, the giant dinosaur.
Yeah, the giant brick. And it was like, that was a status symbol at the time. It's like, wow, I'm somebody important. I've got a cell phone.
Do you happen to know how much that costed back in the day?
I have no clue. I didn't have one because I was a teacher and I couldn't afford one.
Dang. Couldn't afford one back then?
Felt really good because when I built my house, I built the house with 2 phone lines wired in the house so that my teenage kids could have a separate phone number.
Ah, okay.
So
have a little privacy.
You're so nice. You're so nice.
Yeah, well, those teenage kids are in their 50s now.
So nice.
I mean, you just got to celebrate one of them because, Sheena's leaving soon.
Right.
So how was that?
Well, that was fun. Her staff at GW had a going away thing for her yesterday, and it's tough on her. She loved what she was doing here, really engaged with the kids. And the whole robotics thing is her science background, and then put that with the robotics tools that we have available in our schools right now. They're tremendous, and the pre-engineering kids they're marvelous students, and they're really motivated. So that's where that collaborative piece comes in. And the teachers that you had, that you would never think of being late for their class. You would be there, you're ready to go. And there's the other one that was like, oh, God, I got to go to that class again.
I think we're going to skip today.
Yeah. So and I'm proud to say that almost all of our teachers are the ones where you want to get there and be involved. And I remember my Algebra 2 teacher, though. She was a great, wonderful person, but we were really excited the fact that and this is back in the 60s, she had a red GTO convertible. That was the muscle car to have. So all the guys paid attention.
Ah.
Because she had that red GTO convertible with a white leather interior, beautiful car. And so it was like, okay, she's cool.
Yep.
She's cool. So she can make you, like logarithms.
Oh.
Yeah. Why?
They probably don't
Quadratic
remember.
equations. Huh? Why? Well, she said to study it, do the work. Okay, because she's cool.
She got the red car.
And
You don't-
she's
you
got
don't
the
know?
car, And another teacher in the staff had a Jaguar XKE, which is a real classic sports car. And that's kind of my bag. And anyway, either way, the things that connect us as human beings is what I'm trying to get to. This is a human endeavor.
Yep.
Teaching and learning is a human endeavor. Some of it can be structured. Some of it can be put into algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it needs to be the human interaction and the place where people feel valued and respected in the conversation. And then we learn from each other.
Yep.
And I have to remind our folks, all of our folks, that as a school system, we're a learning organization. That means two things.
Mm-hmm.
What we do is about facilitating learning, but it is also we have to be learning along the way.
Yep.
I am not the same educator that I was 50 years ago when I started. Not at all. So it's like that's the kind of thing that you have to remember is that we grow and learn and change and evolve over time. There's a whole lot of social commentary I could go into on that, but it's important to remember that what we do is much more than a math grade.
Yes.
Although the math grade is very important.
It's what you do with that.
Yes. What do you do? What do you know? What do you understand? What positive can you build?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a guy that thinks that we need to be building and creating something all along. But at the very least, a better environment for each other.
Yep.
Because this is the only planet we can live on.
Mm-hmm.
I realize that Mr. Musk wants to go to Mars, and you can, but why? Okay, let's see. We're going to have a question coming along.
We have Pat on the line who has a question in regards to... Yeah, shoot. Throw them on.
Hi, Pat. You're on the air with our PIO, Damen Michael Borja, and Dr. Swanson.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Just a quick question. I'm understanding that there are quite a few special education kids coming into the school system this year,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not a lot of one-to-one aides. What's being done about that, and how is that affecting the rest of the student population and the teachers, and obviously the kids who aren't getting the attention that they need? So if you could just address that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, one thing I do know is that we do have 9 special education teachers / aides that will be coming in and by the end of December through that program.
Right.
So that's one thing I do know
We're
of.
certifying more special education teachers and basically it's a grow your own kind of an environment where we find certified teachers who are interested in becoming special education teachers, and we're providing grant funded support to get them through the instructional program at the university so that they can be certified. The number of students that come into our environment in special education, while we do the very best we can to serve all of their needs, there is certainly a challenge, and there are more needs than there are resources. So one of the things we're trying to do is recruit more folks to be aides.
Yep.
And also restructure how we're working with teacher assistants along with a classroom teacher or a special education teacher to deliver services. But it's really difficult to generalize on this because each student who's a special education student has an individual education plan.
Correct.
And that's basically the descriptive plan that's been developed with the IEP team, which includes the parents and the teachers and the administration of the school to say, okay, what's the program that this child needs to be successful amongst his peers? And so we build that program and staff it. One of our big challenges right now is hiring sufficient numbers of one-on-one aides, and because first of all, you have to have an interest in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, there's some specialized training that goes along with it because it's not a simple job.
It's not.
And our folks that do that work, I've got the highest regard in the world for them, because I go into schools and see the work that they're doing, and there's some challenging things that they have to know how to handle
Yep.
in the most positive way to get the results that the student is in need of. So we still need more of those folks, but we have our central office folks that work in special education are basically going in and pinch hitting.
Yep.
We have some of our folks who do evaluation mostly at this point, also doubling down and stepping in and covering where we need to. So these are the challenges we have, and we continue to work on them. Funding is not an issue for those jobs,
Yeah.
but we do need to have more applicants so we can screen them. And I know that we just processed in several more folks in the last week, but those applications are still being taken, and we'll continue to hire as we go along.
Yeah, so just to add on to that, guys, if you are interested, you have the patience, you want to learn how to work with one-to-one age, you can find those applications on the GDOE website. You just got to go to the HR division, and you'll find all the applications set up there. You can even head down to central office and go into HR itself to pick up an application. We are looking for more people to help with the one-to-one teachers. Really, we have a lot of vacancies, guys, and you got to think about it. Like, when it comes to these kinds of vacancies, you're doing it for the kids and the community. It's like, it really is a fulfilling job. That's the way I see it. Like, when I picked up the job as a PIO here, I got to I already knew that I get to interact with the kids, market, promote, communicate, and really show the public what we're doing here at GDOE. And it's not always the bad. I can always showcase the good too, and that's the fulfilling part.
Yeah, I need to remind folks there's a lot more good going on than there is otherwise. Remember the scale, the number of people involved. When you put it all together, you're of 28,000 human beings trying to do a common activity every day.
Yep.
And that's a big piece. We're proud of what's going on. We also need to have as much as possible qualified volunteer support, and it goes way beyond putting paint on the wall. I'm classroom volunteers, and so if you're in the vicinity of an elementary school and you want to help with that as a volunteer, you coordinate through the principal's office, and we have parents that come. This goes way beyond bake sales.
Yeah.
Okay, coming in and working with kids every day. And to have those folks that come and do that makes a huge difference in their lives. Again, every adult who works in this school is a valuable resource for some kids.
Yep.
And every adult that will tell you, it can be a custodian, it can be a cleaning person, it can be a secretary, it can be a teacher, it can be a counselor. It's all of the above.
Yep.
We're the adults that are in the schools are those trusted resources that they can have. And we know a number of our kids don't necessarily have that at home. And so they need an adult that they can bounce ideas off of. And if you think about your own experience in school, you're going to have a couple of folks that stand out in your mind as being, what? I remember my 8th grade teacher, and I went to a K-8 self-contained school. And Mrs. Boyce, before I was in her class, she was old lady Boyce. That's disrespectful. That's 13-year-old smart mouth.
Oh, yeah, just a little.
Okay, and then I had her as a teacher,
Yep.
and she became one of the most important people in my career and in my life because she really taught me a number of things. One was math problems, how to do story problems, as we called them back in the day, and the other thing taught me how to communicate and how to argue a point.
Yep.
And high school, one guy's name, Martin Burlingame. It was a civics teacher. He taught me how to write essay answers. So when I got to college and they handed me a blue book and said, here's your question, I knew what to do.
Yep.
I knew how to go about writing that essay. So those things happen to all of us in school. And there's some other ones that you will also remember as an example of what not to be.
Yep.
That was my 5th grade teacher. I'll leave her name out of it, but she was as mean as a snake. That's all I would say. And was terrible with kids. If she was on my staff today, I'd fire her.
Oh.
But I think everybody can probably identify one of those too in their educational career. Somebody that had no business being in the classroom, not even to clean it.
I don't really remember much from my elementary and middle school. It was all a blur because I went to a different school every year, military family, so we love that. But I mean, I think majority of my time, I found that the teachers that really helped and impacted my life was during my college years. Those were some of the biggest teachers I had that really, because those are the ones I sat with for years, different multiple different semesters, and actually got to sit down and be like, oh, this person really helped me out.
Yeah, you're talking about college, and I'm thinking about my freshman year in college at a university in Oregon, Pacific University in Forest Grove, which we call Frosty Grave because
it's cold.
The town, no, they're not cold. They roll the sidewalks up at 6 o'clock at night.
Uh-huh.
And they don't even unroll them on the weekend. I mean, there's nothing going on in that town. But now it's grown quite a bit. It's outside Portland.
Oh, okay.
And it's grown quite a bit. But his gentleman taught string music. Okay, I'm a bass player, so he was my private instructor for that. But he was also teaching music history. His name was Raphael Spiro, and he was a concentration camp survivor.
Whoa.
And you hear about the guys that played chamber music while people were being gassed.
Yeah.
That was his background, his experience. You would never be late for his class. And he was the kindest, softest spoken person you'd ever encounter, but a genius and a wonderful teacher, but a wonderful human being that had seen stuff that other people should never see.
Yep.
So you think about that in the relationship, and so I carried that into my teaching, and I do it today, is not to be too judgmental about what you're hearing from the person next to you, because you don't know what they went through just to get here.
Piggybacking off of that, do you think that you, back in your teacher days, had made that same kind of impact that the students probably remember who you were and what you did?
I think so with a couple.
Okay.
And you don't, that's the thing about teaching and school leadership. You frequently don't ever get to know that answer. I have a couple kids that I know are successful professional musicians. A couple more that are successful. In fact, they became music educators and worked 30 years of retired, and I'm still here. They're smarter, I guess. And I also know that in the administrator part of it, I had an incident that happened here on Guam. When I was principal at Anderson Middle School, right after we opened it in 2001.
Yeah.
A young Air Force tech sergeant came in, just introduced himself, and he's going to be the person that's provided the maintenance support for the school campus. And I'm thinking, Jackson, do I know you? And he said, yes, sir, you do. My dad was in the Navy, and you were at Sigonella Naval Air Station. You were the middle school assistant principal, and you kept your foot in my backside the whole time, and I wanted to say thank you. He says, I've got my degree in engineering now.
Whoa.
And I've got a career in the Air Force.
Whoa.
So you don't get to know. And this was 2001. I left Sigonella in 1994. So things
not too long ago.
So you if you live in the community now, I know that we have people here too that's. In fact, it happened. I just had dinner with one of my former teachers from Anderson, who taught our daughter, the one who's just leaving, that was teaching Sheena, taught her at Anderson Middle School, and her 16-year-old son was in her class at Anderson Middle School as a 7th grader.
Whoa.
So I taught you, and I taught your mama. I know you. And here in Guam, families are very, very close. So you have career teachers that have literally taught generations of the same family.
Yep.
And that you can't put a price on that. That value is so important because that's that connectivity. That's that place where the collaboration and sometimes the friction. Okay. Family's family.
Drama.
But the point is that we have the potential to really capitalize on that close-knitness.
Yeah.
and make sure that nobody slips through the cracks.
Yeah. I mean, my siblings are currently attending Sanchez right now. You know, I'm a Sanchez alumni as well, and they're also being taught by the same teachers that taught me. So, and it's
That
so
could
funny.
work for them or against them.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how my siblings are. I mean, they're a little, well, actually, they're a lot different than I am. I'm a social butterfly. They're like kept in the closet, quiet kids.
Yeah, well, that's yeah, and there is an individual that works here at the radio station that I had as a 7th grader.
Oh yes,
And he's come a long ways.
it really is. it really is pretty crazy. I mean, like you taught him. Did you like ever think that he was gonna
I
be
was
here?
the principal when he was in 7th grade.
It's
So it's like,
learning.
and any middle school principal has a list of favorites.
Yeah.
Well,
How far down the list was he?
Oh, it was somewhere in the middle. He benefited from our intervention programs. We'll put it that way. And well, some people don't,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
unfortunately. But his successes are yet to be seen because in the chronology of how long we live, he's still a young man. So he's got an opportunity to make a difference here on the island and in the society that he lives in and grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And really, that's one of the purposes of public education is to educate valuable contributing members of the society to build the society.
Yeah.
And so
The next generation are the ones that are going to be living here to be the next, I don't know, superintendent, the next deputies, maybe the next PIO. I don't know.
And that, by the way, is why we have job vacancies. It's called retirements. And fortunately and unfortunately, I guess it's a double-edged sword. We have a large part of our workforce is retirement age.
Yeah, they're getting old.
And the other piece, and this is showing up in several other countries, Japan being one of them, younger individuals are deciding not to have families.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons that we're seeing a drop in enrollment is that the people that are your age that have couples that have or child rearing years are opting to not have children or to have far fewer.
It's too expensive, man.
Yeah, it is expensive. My son, who is going to retire after 30 years of teaching at the end of this school year, it cost $450 to bring into the world. That included his mother's prenatal care and the hospital stay when he was born.
And that's covered. That's like the
And
co-payment,
that was amortized over the 7 months of the 9-month pregnancy. So I mean, yeah, it's a whole different deal now. And as someone who looks at what things cost, I would think twice about
It really is. I mean,
about having a family at this point too.
do I want to pick having a kid or having to go to Japan on my first trip in a few months, which I hope you approve. But it's really expensive.
No. So, but there's no price you can put on family.
No, definitely not. I mean,
and the support that we get from our families is absolutely priceless. It makes a huge difference in the course and the success of our kids every day.
yeah.
And we need to be partners with all of our families as best we can. And I know that we don't always get it right. So when the opportunities for surveys come out, tell us what's good, tell us what's not so good, because we can't fix it if we don't know.
Yeah, and that's the best part is like the community members. You gotta learn. There's constructive criticism. Like tell us, but without yelling at us.
Well,
I mean, but we'll still listen if you yell at us.
we yelling and screaming. Well, most people shut down when you start yelling at them.
Oh yeah.
They shut down. It's for self-preservation. It's an old reflex. It goes clear back to, prehistoric days. But we want to be responsive to the needs of the community, and make sure that we're providing the safe and secure learning environment. And certainly, we've gone a long ways to make sure that they're clean and safe and healthy. And we're open and we're working. We continue to work on that. It's a never-ending job because when you think about it, when you put 400 or 500 kids through the same doorway 6 times a day, just the wear and tear on the door hardware, it's So it's a big deal to keep all of our facilities up, and a lot of them are really old. That's a program for another day, especially. But our team is working on it, and we certainly appreciate the volunteer and agency help and military sponsoring agencies and command relationships. All of those things come together to make our community more powerful, and we're very appreciative of all of that.
Yeah, so, before we wrap up here, I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone, all the facility and maintenance teams, the Sodexo teams, the community members that all have helped GDOE, because without you guys, we would not be able to do what we did this year, which was open all the schools. Everyone, you guys all deserve a round of applause. You guys deserve a pat on the back, because you guys are the reason why we're here and we're working today. We are going to be ending basically now. Thank you everyone for listening, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Swanson, for coming on and having this conversation.
It's my pleasure, and I really like to do that. And I don't get to talk to anybody very often.
No. Well, man, I certainly come in and have my little 15-minute laughs chatters with you.
Anyway, have a conversation. Have a conversation and open the door to discussion about what we're doing, why we're doing it. And, my time on Guam, both times, 25 years ago, and my wife and I are celebrating our 25th anniversary, which started here at St. John's. We were married on the 26th of January in 2000.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
So that's the 26th of December, the day after Christmas. Why? Because I was broke, and the church was already decorated.
Hey, that's smart.
You're a smart man. I appreciate that. That's being thoughtful. Because he could have just been like, sorry, babe, I don't got money. Here's the ring. Let's get married. He was like, no, I got it all planned out. The church is going to look good. There's going to be food for us right after.
Just the leftovers.
Yeah,
everyone had the back.
The food was the deal because it was a fiesta the next day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
you had it planned.
Hey, I had friends that knew how to cook.
That's what's up. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week on Edukuentos.
Many companies are moving slow on AI. Thank goodness many employees are moving fast. I'm Jeff Colvin of Fortune Magazine with the Fortune Business Update. Lots of companies have invested money on AI, but in a recent survey from MIT, 95% of them say their corporate investment has so far not improved their profit at all. Zero. Fortunately for those companies, however, their employees are moving ahead on their own, and they're not telling their employers about it. They're just using their own personal accounts with ChatGPT or other AI providers, and that is almost certainly improving productivity. As employees become more familiar with personal AI tools that suit their needs, they become less tolerant of their employers' slow-moving